it's crazy how good he looks right now. So he's going to be fit as a fiddle. I cannot imagine that, as stubborn as he is, that he's not going to be ready by the start of camp.
Yeah, kids are the worst.
Yeah.
My second question would be, other than The Athletic or the Star Tribune, what are the writers that you guys like to follow for content and things that outside of your areas of expertise?
Well, I only read the areas of my expertise, but it is funny. Every time I get a question like that, I can't think of it on the fly. Then I'm driving home and like 15 people like come to my mind. But at The Athletic, our team is just insane. It's just so we have 63 people going to the draft. We had to take out a wing at our own hotel in Burnaby. By the way, I'm staying at the Marriott in Vancouver. So there's one athletic writer that's not abiding by our policy. It's unbelievable, like what we've kind of created at this outlet. But I mean, from my perspective, I love guys like Pierre LeBrun, Scott Burnside. They're just awesome. I read them every day. I mean, Jeremy Rutherford, who covers the Blues for the St. Louis Dispatch, I sent him a text this morning. He's just rock star right now with his coverage, and it's over and over and over again. So it's just been awesome.
For me, I like reading writers from around the country who use humor well. That's something in sports we sometimes forget that all this is supposed to be fun. Scott Ostler, Ray Ratto, some people like that.
Yeah, right.
Fantastic writers. But honestly, when I'm not covering sports or thinking about sports, I like to read fiction. And not sports fiction. So I look for...
So your columns.
Yeah, exactly. That was actually pretty good. I have to give that to him. Yeah. Why don't you write like that?
What'd you rate Sunday?
Sundays. I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, well, let's be nice now. That was all facts. So I like finding a good author and just reading everything he or she has ever written, and that's my kind of thing right now. James Lee Burke is who I'm reading right now.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I find myself again. I'm not trying. I swear I'm not intentionally trying to pump up The Athletic. But I was looking
Sounds like
today.
You are.
But I was looking. You know how we have that save function on the app where you save articles? I was looking today. I'm backed up by 40 articles. It's unbelievable, how much content we have on there. So, Mary, what's up?
Before Mary asks her question, let's thank Tony Hoaglund, our friend. He lives in Champlin. He's our State Farm agent. He handles my insurance. He handles Michael's insurance.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
All right, Mary, fire away.
All right.
I like your shirt.
Yes.
See
rocking the Athletic shirt here.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, indeed. Well, it sounds like Zucker, he may be traded this summer. And of those listed to maybe pick up in a trade, well, there's a lot of lists. Do you have a preference as who?
I mean, preference, I think the way that my story read today, it sounded like I was campaigning for Kessel. That's not the case. I just think that one's very much in the works. So I was writing more about that. Personally, of the people that I've listed, I would trade for Jonathan Marchessault tomorrow, but I don't think that Vegas will do that. I do think there was that Vegas considered it at one point, but I think the coach, Gerard Gallant, is the one that's no freaking way. I mean, this guy is a heart and soul guy on that team, the energy of that team. And I don't think that as good as the Golden Knights are, that they were that they wanted to give that up going into the playoffs. I am not a Nylander guy. I like Tyler Johnson, but again, it's you're just getting smaller. There's not a lot of great options that I felt like I put in that story. But I was just trying to target a couple people that they might go after. But I do think Kessel's very much an option if they could figure out a way to exchange those contracts. The question that I have, and I love Jack Johnson. I mean, as a human, I mean, I just he's such a good guy. I've gotten to know him a little bit, but he can't play anymore. He just so I just don't know if you're creating a bigger problem there. Like if you have Jack Johnson in the lineup over Nick Seeler, that is not an upgrade. Unless you're requiring him to buy him out, which is always a possibility, I just don't think that's the smartest way to go. But again, that's just some of that was just throwing stuff against the wall. But there's just I just don't see how Zucker's back. I don't. I know that he thinks he's gone. I know his agent thinks he's gone. So that's just kind of the way that it's going.
Yeah,
so.
That'll be tough with his family staying here. And
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and if you don't know what Mary's talking about, just because of obviously family, personal reasons, and that I've spelled out in The Athletic before, if Zucker is traded, his wife and kids will stay in town. I mean, that's what they're going to decide to do.
And then if the Wild have a decent season and making a playoff push towards the deadline next year, what are the chances of us picking up Granlund cheap for a rental?
You know what's so funny about what you just asked? Though everybody's laughing, you're throwing that against the wall. But I talked to somebody today that thinks that Granlund could be flipped this summer, and this is somebody that is in the league, so he might be hearing stuff. He works for a team. I'm not saying he'd be back here. He wouldn't be back here, but maybe as a free agent, as you're saying, yeah, potentially. But I doubt that too. But if all of a sudden they can't score, my biggest thing is with Phil Kessel is yes, but he's not going to be a point-of-game player here without a Michael Granlund. So until they get a really quality playmaker to on this team, I don't care what scores they get this summer. I just don't see who's passing the puck. So maybe in a year all of a sudden Granlund looks intriguing to the Wild again. I don't know.
Reminder, ticket giveaway is at the far bin. The suggestions are in this one, but sign up. Brian has been good enough to offer some of his tickets as a part of a giveaway. We'll continue doing that. And again, next week we'll have Lou Nanny, we think, and Russo's mom, more importantly, here at Tin Shed Tavern in Savage. Thanks to Bite Squad, bitesquad.com. If you're in the Savage area, come out and eat at Tin Shed. Why do I have so much trouble with that? Tin Shed in Savage. But if you're anywhere else, especially Minneapolis, Bite Squad has added a bunch of restaurants. They deliver breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night, whatever you want. Use a promo code TALKNORTH for your first delivery fee waived. We keep using it after that. They've been great to us. Yes, sir.
With the number of defensemen the Wild have on the team and in the minors coming up, what do you think of Nick Seeler? What is his future?
I don't know. I like him, but clearly at the end of the season, Fenton wasn't a fan, and I don't think Boudreau liked the way he was playing as well. So, I would give him. He's so cheap. I would absolutely give him another chance. But it does seem like that he's always trade bait or might be kind of an extra guy. But you're right. Soucy really impressed in the minors down the stretch. So he's the only other left shot guy. If you add a Jack Johnson, it's again, where are you putting these guys? Does that mean maybe Jonas Brodin is going to be traded? I again think that's a risk with Ryan Suter only getting older. I hope they give Nick another chance. I just don't like what the Boteto move did to him. Nick was on a roll. He was coming off an incredible game in Colorado. Then they go into the All-Star break in the bye. Next thing you know, they come back. They got Boteto on the lineup, and then all of a sudden there was kind of an edict to play Nick in Buffalo when he was playing well. And next thing you know, you're playing mind games with a 20-something, technically a rookie, even though it was his second year. And I just think that really put him in a real quandary the second half of the season, where he then became a real erratic defenseman.
Sometime next month, we're going to do our 200th show. We'll try to make that one of our live shows here. We'll try to figure out something cool or special to do. I think Russo will just give some of his unused athletic equipment away. I think that'll probably be the giveaway.
200 shows. It only feels like 1,000.
Only 1,000?
Yeah. 200 shows. You're back?
And Vicky's listened to all of them. We should give her a medal.
You really deserve a medal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for putting up with you.
Yes.
I know that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we're traveling this summer again. So,
I know.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to go to Germany, Switzerland, and Austria with Vicky and I, this is what you get on the entire trip. Just a comedy show.
Yeah, you learn more than you want to know.
So the other day, I was talking to. I was almost going to say the player, but I went for coffee with the player, and he goes to me, he goes, so what do you do on these Europe shows, these Europe trips? And I tell him what I'm doing. He's like, so we're like, are you really honest on these trips? Like, he was like, I'm like, kind of. You definitely learn a lot.
Yeah, we learn more on the trip than we do all year. So.
Yeah.
Do you have a driveway yet? Patio?
I do have a driveway, not a patio. If it would stop raining.
Do you have a lawn?
Nope. No, every time it rains, it sets us back.
Okay, we're looking for the party.
Yeah, we have not had a party.
Okay, then.
So, yeah, I appreciate it. And my nephews are coming next week, and I got no grass or a patio. So yeah.
So we tend to talk a lot about skill level and forwards who can either set up goals or score goals, but it looks to me like these two teams are just on a different level physically than the Wild. They're much more physical.
Well, yeah, again, to get to next year, the big thing without Niederreiter, Coyle, if you just trade Foligno, if you even trade Zucker, it's like who's going to the net? It's just a lot to. Hey, Jody Shelley. There's just a lot to. Not like right now, and so I will say every time you watch the playoffs and you get to the point where teams are going 200 miles an hour, it seems you always look and say your team was not even close. So you don't want to get into that scary habit. Remember the Carolina Hurricanes went to the conference final; they barely made the playoffs. St. Louis Blues were last January 3rd. These aren't the picture perfect teams. Boston potentially is. Boston is a great team. Again, even as I was patting my back through Brian the other couple minutes ago, it's like even if Tampa was in it, I still have a feeling Boston would be in this position. They back in March, they looked like they were absolutely ready to go on this type of steamroll, and which is kind of another reason why I've been a little critical about Fenton not taking that draft pick and upping it with every series because. You're giving Charlie Coyle. They are acquiring Charlie Coyle to turn a playoff contender into a real playoff contender, into a cup contender, and so you're giving them the player for a minor leaguer. Remember, Donato was in the minors. How do you only turn a fifth to a fourth by them winning one round? Why doesn't that go to the third round pick for a second round pick for a third round? Something else for the Stanley Cup final. It just. That to me was not a win. So, what's up? You're back?
Yeah, I'm back. For Souhan, it's kind of off topic. Can you talk for a minute about Bethpage?
Oh, yeah,
you were out there last weekend.
It was fantastic.
My hometown.
I know. There are sometimes I go cover a major golf championship at some legendary course, and I walk around the course. I go, it's okay. Augusta National's. Fantastic. It's better than people say it is. But I went to Pinehurst, and Pinehurst was okay. I went to Oakmont. Oakmont is nice, but to me, I didn't walk around saying this is one of the greatest golf courses I've ever seen. Bethpage is a public course. It's one of 5 public courses in a state park in the middle of Long Island, and it's fabulous. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's scenic. It's a really interesting course. It's really difficult. Some people, if we tried to play it, we would shoot 200. But I talked to some Minnesota people who were there, some of the pros off to the side, and they said it's a great course, it's a great test, but it's also completely fair. There's nothing tricky about it. Everything's right in front of you. You just have to hit really good shots. I thought it was great, and I love the fact that the USGA screws up a lot of stuff. But I give them a lot of credit for bringing a U.S. Open to Bethpage Black when nobody was bringing them to public courses. And now you see Bethpage has hosted 3 majors, and Harding Park in San Francisco is going to host, I think, the PGA next year. It's a great trend, you can go play these courses. That's a great thing.
Yeah, how about Koepka? Almost talking about a rough second part of
that. Well, I was out there, and I tell you what, the wind was blowing so hard that guys just didn't know where the ball was going to land. Koepka's worst shot, he hit it great, and it flies the green with an 8-iron when other people are hitting 7s and 6s. So there's an element of luck, too, and when he hit the ball and what the wind was doing when he hit it. I actually thought Koepka, it's hard playing from in front. Yeah. I thought he showed a lot of guts.
So, I grew up in Plainview over the Page only until 12 years old, but my memories of that course Not that I ever played it, I'm saying, but my memories of that course was that it was crap. Like they had, I think they spent a gazillion to fix it up.
They upgraded it.
Like I have this memory of us going to the baseball diamonds and essentially walking over the course to get to it.
Yeah.
Just over the brown grass, essentially, is what I remember. So, but I grew up, I went to Old Page Grade School, which is only a couple miles down Round Swamp Road.